Hello and welcome to Happy Horror Time. My name is Tim Murdoch.
And my name is Matt Emmer. What were you laughing at, Tim?
Just your face.
You know, it's always a funny look, and now everyone can see our faces.
That's right. Go to YouTube.
Tim is looking pretty in pink today.
That's right. This shirt, usually, the one thing I do not like about horror movie Pink is there's a movie called Pretty in Pink starring Molly Ringwald. No, all horror shirts are always black, and I always want them to be a different color.
That is correct. That is correct. No, I was starting to get worried, to be honest, that I have so many horror shirts that are black that I was like, I can't wear black every time. So I pulled out a gray one today of The Conjuring. Do you like him?
I do like it. Whoever gave it to you is a cutie.
Evan Parker,
who
works at WB.
No. I think I just gave it to you.
Actually, yes. We have a friend, Evan, who works at Warner Brothers, and he can sometimes get like extra stuff from the gift store. He knows we love horror. He's the sweetest guy, and he gave a bunch of stuff to Tim, and Tim gave it to me. So I got it secondhand from Tim.
Oh, whatever.
Are you a secondhand? Do you like anything secondhand? Do you go to thrift stores?
Actually, I grew up very secondhand. I have two older brothers, so I love secondhand stuff.
You're like third hand.
I am the third hand.
So speaking of YouTube, which Tim said, if you are listening to this episode right now, why? Get off and jump on YouTube and you can see us. No, but in all seriousness, we're going to probably keep reminding people this a number of times because it's new for us. We are now doing video. So if you're listening and want to see us and all our hand motions, Tim dancing. Ooh, or maybe you don't want to see.
I'm a really good dancer.
Really good. Go to our YouTube channel. It is youtube.com/Happy Horror Time. And if you're there, please subscribe, like, comment. What is the usual thing you say?
No, I got this.
Okay.
Like, subscribe, or die.
Oh, no, I don't think
That's the title of my new script. It's
I love it.
Subscribe, die.
Oh, what's it about? Tell me.
It's about there's this person named Tim, because I'm the star of this.
Of course,
and,
of course.
I go up to people and I was like, did you like or describe? And if they say no, I kill them.
Okay, so you just said like or describe.
Oh, I did? I meant subscribe.
Oh, see, you know what?
Like and describe.
Like and describe. And they're like, what do you want me to describe? And then you kill them.
Yeah. No matter what, I'm going to kill them.
So all of our episodes, as you know, if you've been following us on our audio platforms, all of our new episodes come out every Monday. We are doing the same on YouTube, which means if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, every Monday you'll see our new episode, our movie reviews, our interviews. We're releasing video for all of it. It's on Monday. So again, if you know people that listen to the podcast but don't know we've switched to video, tell them to go subscribe.
Does it remind you of your youth when it was Melrose Mondays?
Oh, God.
Were you a Melrose Monday person?
I was a Melrose Monday person, but like...
If you look back at the way Fox did it, it was like, Mondays are a bitch. They were basically... And then they had Amanda's face. Like, yeah. I wonder if I'd want to be the face of bitch.
In my book, you are. You walked right into that.
I wasn't even trying to walk.
Tim says, I wonder if I'm the face of bitch.
I was hoping you'd be sweet.
Oh, okay. You're the face of... friendship.
Please don't touch me.
Oh. See, if you weren't watching, you wouldn't have seen my hand on Tim's shoulder.
But I liked it.
It was very inappropriate. One other thing I have to plug because, we just want to start plugging these things. Our Patreon. If you are a listener who listens to our weekly episodes and you're like, you know what? I never hear them talk about past movies. Well, guess what, Tim?
Yeah, we talk about my favorite film, Deadly Friend. I was supposed to say Deadly Team. That's a movie I made 30 years ago.
With a VHS recorder.
Yeah. It was great. Or Christine, about a killer car.
Yeah, what we do on Patreon, if you sign up to be a patron, it's just $5 a month, and you get, I'm just going to list these perks because there are a ton of perks. You get 2 extra bonus episodes per month. And what we do is Tim and I pick like a fun theme, like, what was our thing? Oh, Vicious Valentines is February, and all the movies we do are related to a Valentine's Day setting or Crazy Lovers. Or we had John Carpenter June. We had Creepy Creatures, things like that. But we find movies from the past, horror movies, and we talk about them. So you get 2 bonus episodes a month. You also get 1 after show. It's an additional episode where Tim and I just talk about whatever.
Yeah, usually it's Matt talking about
about.
I was like hoping you'd walk into it.
I mean, last time we talked about Tim's power outages. We talked about the Scream 7 news. We talked about, it's usually horror based. We talk about all the trailers that came out. We talk about any TV shows we're watching. So
Small
it's like
Wonder,
Small
on
Wonder,
repeat.
the 80s TV shows. We do talk about all sorts of stuff. Usually like Tim's past dates, usual.
Those never go great.
But it's a great story. Yeah. So you get that. You also get access to our Discord, which is like a private chat group where we chat with all of our patrons about stuff and movies and things. You also get our monthly newsletter, and that is written by Jacob, our producer.
He's so he's so well written. Obviously, I can't even talk or write. So good job, Jacob.
I think you can talk.
Thank you.
Right?
It's questionable.
Well, Jacob writes our newsletter. He basically, what you get is at the beginning of each month, it kind of gives you a preview of what's to come for the month. The interviews we have, the stuff we've been up to, what we're going to be. It's like a sneak peek at stuff. You also get to participate in polls to pick our bonus movies, bonus episode movies, and you get the chance to join us in an episode. So there's a lot of perks.
But it's not mandatory.
What?
It's to talk to us.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you get the opportunity if you want to join us in an episode. We're not like, hey, you're in this one.
Yeah, and they're like, how do I turn on my Zoom?
Can you imagine? You're a patron. You're going to join us in this fucking episode.
Like, describe. I keep messing it up.
No.
Like, subscribe, or die.
Exactly. So that's all the plugs. Go to our YouTube channel, Happy Horror Time, youtube.com/Happy Horror Time. If you want more Happy Horror Time, please sign up to be a patron. That's how we continue affording to do what we do.
Right. I mean, I can't walk into a movie theater and not get popcorn. So thank you.
No, but really, it really does help us like continue to evolve the podcast. So hit up our Patreon. It's patreon.com/Happy Horror Time if you want to help support the podcast, and you get all that bonus shit. That's a lot, Tim.
Well, I don't think you should have used the word shit.
What would you call it?
Awesome stuff.
Bonus awesome stuff. So Tim, okay, now that I've gotten the plugs, how have you felt about doing video? Are you feeling more comfortable?
You know what? I feel good. I feel good.
Are you flirt with the camera? See, just think, if you're listening to this,
you can see my facial expressions go insane.
It is. You know, what's funny is that my parents, who, of course, they want to support us, they've been watching the latest videos and they're like, it's like a whole new experience.
A whole new world.
And I was like, thank you. That makes me feel validated, and that people watching us will have a whole new experience.
Well, I will say my dad did call and he said, you mentioned the Buckeyes. So I'm going to have to every single episode mention the Buckeyes. So go Bucks. I don't know what is in season right now, but whatever they're playing, go Bucks.
Speaking of, talk about your what your cousin did.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I guess the Heart Eyes episode, I mentioned like, where would I keep a metal straw? Because in the movie, the girl keeps like a metal straw, which Matt has 2 metal straws here.
Look at this. So
they're weapons.
She got us because she heard us talk about metal straws, horror themed, and this is Michael Myers, so of course it's mine.
Right.
Freddy Krueger.
And then she also said, I said, where am I going to put these straws? She got me like a man purse, and it's Michael Myers, which Matt likes.
Yes.
But I also love Halloween. Don't get me wrong. And Matt, read it. Can you read it?
Feeling cute. Might kill someone later. I don't know.
Like, subscribe, or die.
No. In Tim's book, it's like, describe.
You know what? I fumbled that. But this is my cute man satchel, which I will wear everywhere. So thank you, Laura. And also, I didn't know that my cousin was an artist. And, I did. She paints. And let me just plug her beautiful paintings. And let me pull it up.
Yes, Tim showed me earlier. It's really, really beautiful.
Okay, so
Laura Klinger, right?
Laura Klinger is her name. And then it's Laura Gallery at Etsy. Etsy? How do you say
Etsy?
Thank you. Thank you, Matt.
Etsy, that little site that's been around for, I don't know, a decade.
So, but it's not like, it's interesting because my whole family always discusses this. It's Lara, like as in
Lara.
Yes, thank you.
And Klinger is Klinger?
Yes.
Okay, so search her on Etsy. She has a really beautiful shop.
I want to say thank you for the gifts. And she is one of 5 girl cousins. So if the other 4 girl cousins that I have want to jump in and buy me straws and purses, feel free.
And hey, if you really love the podcast, podcast if you want to sign up to be a patron.
Or do that.
Yeah, but I love it. Yeah, the metal straw. Tim is giving me this straw, so thank you, Laura.
I hope you use it wisely.
What am I? You mean to drink? I know you're thinking dirty stuff.
No.
Dirty. He's dirty. I'm not the filthy one, everyone. I think you've learned that.
Well, you know what? Sometimes I'm undercover.
Exactly. So the movie that we are talking about today, ooh, what a fun one. We've had some fun movies because we just talked about Hard Eyes, which was really fun.
That was so much fun. I wish we could talk about Hard Eyes every week.
I don't. I like variety. But, I mean, no, I loved it for that episode. But what I will say is that there's a lot of fun horror coming out and a lot of horror comedies that, is horror comedy like the new elevated horror, Tim?
I mean, I wasn't laughing hysterically. I wasn't like slapping my knee.
Oh,
Were
so
you?
Someone doesn't like the.
No, I liked the movie, but I wasn't like, it wasn't like belly laughs.
Well,
or was
twisted.
it? I don't know.
To me, it was so okay. Stephen King had a quote about this movie. I think it was that it's batshit insane. I couldn't have said it better myself, not just because he's Stephen King, but it is so insane that you laugh at the absurdity of it, kind of like The Substance, when it gets to be so insane, the gore, the kills, but also it's a fun experience.
Yeah,
and
I absolutely had a wonderful time at the Monkey, but I thought it was going to be more like Longlegs because it's the same director, but obviously, did you think it was good? I mean, it wasn't like Longlegs. I wanted it to be a little more like spooky.
I didn't, only because the trailers, I could see the absurdity in the trailers.
I didn't catch it in the trailer.
I got this, and I also read how twisted it was. And so the reason I said is horror comedy, the new elevated horror, because let me explain. This is my little declaration about it, because I think now when you can take horror and make it so twisted that you're laughing at like the insanity of it, not like jokes, like one-liners, but laughing at the insanity of it, like that is, I don't know, to me that's difficult to get people laughing at pure absurd stuff,
No, that is actually a very good talent to be able to like laugh 1 minute, be scared the next, laugh 1 minute, be scared the next.
Laugh 1 minute, be scared the next.
But I think I don't know. I like straightforward horror.
I see.
I wanted Longlegs. I wanted like a creepy Nicolas Cage walking around a house and the cop outside looking in.
But it's a toy monkey. Like,
I know. And like, by the way, do you remember the movie Monkey Shines?
Of course.
Okay, so we had the girl that was in Monkey Shines on our show, but the posters and everything are so similar.
Kate, why am I blanking?
I want to say McNeil.
Kate McNeil, yes.
Kate McNeil, who's in House on Sorority Row, was also in Monkey Shines, and they have such similar posters. And that's like about a real monkey, and this is about a one that like plays the drums. But because Monkey Shines, that's such a weird title.
That is a weird title. Like that movie was also okay. So this is the difference for me between horror comedy that you're laughing at the movie and horror comedy that you're laughing with the movie. When you're laughing at the movie, you're laughing at like the acting's bad,
right? The writing,
the writing is bad. You're laughing at cringe moments, that kind of stuff. When you're laughing with the movie, it's because they want you to laugh. Like they put a death in that's so insane. Yeah, they put a death in that's so insane that everyone's going to be like, "Oh my god," and laughing. Like so, I think that is a talent, and to me that is elevated horror because you're taking humor and you're making it work in a, I don't know, just a crazy way, if that makes sense.
Well, I mean, like I'm trying to, okay, well, obviously we just saw the movie. Out of all the deaths, could any of them happen? I mean, like these would be like freak accidents, like 1% out of like a million. Like
an aneurysm could happen. I don't know if you would bleed out of your eyes.
Didn't they say in the movie, like, this is out of 1 in 44 million?
Yeah. And also, you obviously, can you get electrocuted in a pool? I mean, something to fun.
She exploded.
What I think they did is almost like what Tommy McLaughlin told us in our interview with him, the director of Jason Lives. He said he wanted to make the deaths so absurd and over the top that you couldn't recreate them so it wouldn't inspire kills like that. I'm thinking that Osgood Perkins, I don't know him, we haven't talked to him.
But he is in Legally Blonde, don't you forget it.
And he's Anthony Perkins' son. I think he wanted to make the deaths so insane and over the top that you're laughing at how crazy they are. But I wasn't laughing because I thought like the people were dumb, you know.
Right.
I was, and also the characters in this are what, like the two twins are great because one is such an asshole and you're laughing at like how awful can a person be.
I love a good twin trope, and it is a trope.
Yeah.
But you know, one thing going back, Osgood Perkins is also in Psycho 2. He's in the he's reaching for the what is that called? Doorknob, and he's in the doorknob.
What's that called? Like, describe, die.
So Osgood Perkins is also in Psycho 2. I love that.
That's an amazing. See, I love when Tim pulls these.
You called me a pimp.
Tim pulls these.
You tried to say Tim and pulls together, and you said pimp.
You're right. The thing with this podcast, everyone, is that Tim and I, as you can tell, so we're slightly manic, but we also we're thinking fast because I hate dead air.
Me too. We don't ever want long pauses. Like, did you like the monkey? And then be like,
it was.
We can't do that.
No, God, no. So we jump over each other, literally. Like, woo! No, anyway, what I was going to say is I love when Tim pulls random facts out of his ass like that. It's great because I would never. Who the fuck knows that much about Psycho 2?
Psycho
This
2.
guy.
I love Psycho. I have a huge poster in my kitchen of Psycho 2. So if you ever want to come over and have some cereal, you can look at Psycho 2 poster.
You know what? Tempting. Tempting. Okay, let's get into it because the monkey, there's so much stuff to discuss in this movie, including the opening scene. They have a cameo by Adam Scott of Severance.
You mean Hellraiser 4?
Sorry.
Bloodline.
Adam Scott of Hellraiser 4 Bloodlines. And it's really fun when you see someone in a movie, you know they're only going to be there for a little bit, but you're like, okay, was he a friend of the director? Does he just love the director's work? Because he's a small part, but he goes into this. It's like a
everyone was so happy to see him. Like first off, you can always tell like what kind of audience it is. We went Thursday night before it opened on the Friday, so it's like everyone in that theater wants to be there. They're excited to be there. They're ready to
be there.
Everyone was going nuts, even just during Nicole Kidman. I was like, everyone calm down.
If you don't go to see movies in AMC, you don't have to see Nicole Kidman do her commercial before every movie. We have the AMC A-list where we see movies. You know, we pay a monthly fee. It's worth it. But we have to sit through that commercial
Which,
every
by the way,
time.
I love that she watches Jurassic Park alone. I want to know the story behind that. She's like, you know what? I'm going to rent out the theater and watch Jurassic Park.
What I also love is that she's talking about the AMC experience, but she's alone in a theater. And the only
that's
time
not an experience I can relate to.
None of us, unless you rent out a theater, can relate to that. And the best is when she has the drink but she didn't have the drink walking into the theater. So who brought her the drink?
And also she has like a coat on. She pulls it down. Where'd that coat go?
The coat's gone. The drink appears. She's watching Jurassic Park by herself.
Yeah, and then she watches Creed in La La Land. I don't know. She had a long day.
Look, it shouldn't be we make movies better. It should be she makes movies better.
Well, you know, everyone go see Baby Girl.
Baby Girl. Okay, back to Adam Scott. So the opening scene, he goes into, it's like a pawn shop, and he brings this monkey toy. Now, real quick on the monkey toy. Apparently, I did read this today. The actual monkey toy this is based off of is the toy monkey that has the symbols.
Right.
That's what we remember.
Yes.
The reason they change it is because they thought that Disney and stuff might have rights to it because that monkey toy is shown in Toy Story 3. So they tweaked it so that he's now has a drum versus cymbals. You see that, Tim? Look. Do you like that?
Oh, my God.
Do you feel like you're with the monkey right now?
Oh, my God. I feel like I'm looking at
the monkey.
Yeah. You're really bringing it to 3D. But it didn't change anything for me.
Nothing. Yeah. So Adam Scott, he's really like worked up. He brings this monkey toy
and he's dressed as a sailor covered in blood.
Yeah, and he wants to get rid of it. And the store owner's like, I don't really need toys, but he's like, I need to get rid of it. And then he's like, well, what does it do? And he's like, don't turn it on. Of course, the guy doesn't listen. Twists the little key, it does like some drumming, and when it does its last drumstick, what happens, Tim?
Well, it looks like a rat. It like is gnawing on a rope, and then the rope is attached to what is an undersea creature man, and it shoots across
like a harpoon.
Yeah, harpoon. It goes through the store owner, and then like what's that called? What's that called?
Well, the harpoon or the piercing part of it goes through him. And then it starts to pull back, and it literally pulls out his entire colon and intestines. And talk about setting the mood for the movie. That was when everybody in the theater, it was like a gasp and a laugh because it was so over the top.
You know what you're in for if you see someone's colon and intestines go across a room.
Literally pulled across the room. But the best part is like, again, it's just this monkey toy. But it did have, were you getting Final Destination vibes?
From the get-go. As soon as I saw that, like, I was like, why are they panning the camera onto a rat gnawing on because like, obviously anyone that has seen there's going to be
sixth one is coming out.
Sixth one's coming out. So if you've seen 5 Final Destination films, it always has like a setup of like, okay, this pen falls, this gasoline falls to the ground, this match falls on, and so anyway.
Wow. Did you have a coffee before?
I did.
I can tell.
I went to the Starbucks.
So the reason why it's kind of, just to explain if you haven't gotten it from this or didn't get it from the trailers, this monkey, whenever it does its little drum beat, as soon as it's done, someone dies. We don't know why. But
it's not the person who winds it up. Is that the rule?
Yes, the rule is it's not the person. But what I love about this movie is they don't take the time to explain the mythology behind the monkey or it was an ancient curse. Nobody cares.
They will have to, like when it becomes to the Monkey 5. They'll be like, we're going to have to go back and we're going to have to explain it.
You're right. You're totally right.
Kind of like in what was that, Cult of Chucky or... There was a Child's Play where they showed... Brad Dourif like in a funeral and like you remember, but he was also playing his dad.
Curse of Chucky.
Yes, so like they're like, okay, we're at the 5th film, we got to go back and do something.
And you know what else did that? My loving series, Halloween 6, when they went and tried to explain the whole Cult of Thorn and all that.
I was thinking about getting a Cult of Thorn here
tattoo. Yeah, that would make sense for someone who loves Friday the 13th.
Right. I was like, well, on this side would be Jason, but they actually say like right here on your veins is not the best place.
You know what? I'm going to give Friday the 13th one bit of props over Halloween. Are you ready?
This
is a big moment. At least as far as I can remember, I don't know that Friday the 13th has ever tried to explain the lore or mythology behind Jason and why he kills. I mean, yes, we know he drowned and all that, but like there's no cult and all that. And I give the series props because nobody cares about that.
Well, not only that, I think Tom McLaughlin's Jason Lives, they were going to introduce Jason's dad, but they scrapped it all and they were just like, it
was too much.
Yeah.
So that's what I like about the monkey. I'm just saying this right there. You don't know why. You don't know where it came from. You just know that Adam Scott is trying to get rid of it, and then he takes it outside and he grabs a flamethrower and he lights it on fire, and then the credits come. So we're like, okay, is the monkey gone? No.
Wait, going back, is Adam Scott dead?
No. The next scene we get to, it says 1999, and we're introduced to our 2 twin characters. Their names are Bill and Hal, and they're kids, and we find out that their father left the family. He was a pilot, and he just left them. Now, they don't know why.
I said he was a sailor.
I'm thinking a sailor. He's a pilot. You have to assume that he found this monkey and he wants to like protect his family by being away from it. Now, I don't know. All we know is that he's an absent father and the kids are just raised by their mom. She's played by Tatiana Maslany, who Tim didn't watch the show, but I didn't love it. Orphan Black. If there are Orphan Black fans out there, Tatiana Maslany is an amazing actress.
I thought she was amazing in this, and all her lines were super funny.
Oh my God.
Super likable, and what a fun character to play.
She is so fun in this. She relates with her kids in such a fun way, and we kind of... The character we kind of are following and are more empathetic for is Hal, because he gets bullied by his brother Bill, who's just an asshole.
Well, now when I think about it, there is a scene in the movie, I'm jumping a little bit, where he's made fun of by like these girl bullies gang. I mean, I guess there's a gang in middle school, junior high. And they come in with these bananas. And I noticed, I was like, the brother was part of that?
Well, I mean, asshole siblings. Yeah, I know.
I was like, I don't like that.
What little a-hole? Tim's in junior high with them.
I know. You guys are...
You meathead.
You meathead.
Give me another one. Poopy farts.
I would never say poopy farts.
Okay, yeah, you would.
But I was like, because
I know what you're saying.
I don't
It's
think
awful,
siblings should join in on with the bullies.
Siblings should be protecting the
Exactly.
sibling. Yeah. So the kid is bullied by his brother, and they're going through their dad's stuff, and they find this box that has the toy monkey. And guess what? It's not, even though the dad, Adam Scott, had hit it with a flamethrower, it's perfectly fine. And on the box, it says like life, not lifelike, but like life, which is kind of a clue.
I really liked that because I'm trying not to say but that we have to in this instance. Yeah. The randomness of life and who you meet and who you don't meet, and suddenly, like the movie Final Destination, like who dies when. It's very deep to think about.
That's what I was going to say. It's a good point.
I'm not going to think about
it. The thing about death, here we go.
Oh,
you know what?
Sorry.
You know how to start a good conversation at a party? Start with,
hey guys, have you seen The Monkey? It's really deep.
No, just you start with, the thing about death is, but what I was going to say to your point, the thing about death is that there is a randomness to it, whether, you're getting hit by a bus or develop a disease and you don't know why. And that's what I think this movie captures very well. Oh, okay, Tim's gone. But it captures very well is that, like, the monkey, you can't use it to target anyone. When it's done, beating the drum, someone random will die, and that's just like death in general. But that's all I'm going to talk about death, because it's a downer.
Right. No, it's a total downer. Yeah. But they tackled it. Well, the thing as a writer, a director, whoever created the monkey, you can go anywhere with this. You kill the
killer monkey. That's it.
Like this movie probably could never die.
Well, of course, if the monkey can't, then the monkey can come back for anything.
Go on forever.
So they find this toy monkey, and they're just like, "What does it do?" So take the key, and they twist it, and it does the da 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 da. And then the brothers are like, "Okay, this is a dumb toy."
Which brother did it first?
I think
was it the mean one?
The nice one did. They were just trying to figure it out. Or no. Actually, sorry. I think it was Bill, because Hal was like, I don't think we should touch it. So Bill did it. But anyway, that night, they happen to be going out to dinner with their babysitter, and they're going to, it's like not a sushi restaurant, but
there's a name for it. There was a chain of them.
Like Benihana?
Benihana, yes.
Yeah, it's like one of those barbecue places where they cut up the meats and stuff in front of you. So the best part is that, and I didn't quite get this, because when they turn the key, the monkey didn't do the drum beat then, but they take the monkey with them and they leave in the car, and randomly it starts beating the drum. And when it beats its last beat, do you want to describe the scene? Because this was a crowd pleaser.
Hal, I think, has the hots for the babysitter. Is Hal the mean one?
No, Bill is.
Bill, the mean one, has the hots for the babysitter, and her suddenly, and they were kind of making eyes. The guy that was cutting the meat in the rice and making a heartbeat, he slits her throat, and that was so nasty.
Well, but it's more than that. What happens is that the knife goes off his hand, like he loses it, and you don't know where it's gone. And then the girl turns her head, and blood starts coming out of her neck, and it isn't just a slit throat, it has gone through her head, and her entire head falls off onto the stove.
Yes, and I was like, dinner is served.
And Tim and I were like, get me more popcorn.
Yeah, I was like,
ketchup.
No, I actually love going to Benihana, because we used to go there like on Christmas Eve, and they take like what looks like an old-timey like ketchup bottle, but they fill it with sake. Which is like alcohol, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so they squeeze it, and like you open your mouth, and like I can take the most sake. Like no one else could do it. Like they go like this, and I was totally drunk. So, it's like doing a shot.
Listeners, do I touch that one?
Don't touch it,
because
keep your mouth shut.
Do you know
I can take the most sake
responses I have to that?
None.
You putting your hand up here like this.
I know.
If you're not watching, you can't see me do this.
Anyway,
and you saying you can take the most?
No, but like my family, like the entire, like he gave sake to everyone.
That was like a gift for me.
I know, but hold it in, man. You got this.
Tim's always been able to take the most.
But I'm drunk when I leave there. Benihana.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a story.
Keep it clean. Wow. As I'm saying I realize.
I am fighting with myself to not make fun of that.
It's
okay, I felt. Okay, so the babysitter's head falls off, and the next scene we get is they're at a funeral with their mom, and they kind of don't know what to think because it's so random. And that's when we get, now, I don't know where this came from, but it is funny. This random, I guess, priest or reverend who's like a teenage stoner guy.
With
and he's
like a man bun.
And he's like, fuck. And that was in the trailer, so we all knew this, but he's like, so, like, life and... Like,
I didn't know preachers. Is it a preacher? I didn't know they could be that.
Jew.
I know. I don't go to church either. But like, I didn't know they could be that young.
I mean,
like he seemed like 25, maybe.
In Judaism, like rabbis can be young and stuff, but usually they don't start their sermon by saying "fuck."
But that was,
funny.
I mean, it was clever. But did they always have a picture of who died, like by the funeral? Like that was kind of a running joke throughout. They were like, this person has a huge picture.
It's dependent on the family.
I want like a huge 8x10 of like when I was
a glamour shot of you.
Yeah.
I can tell.
Thank you. So make it happen.
I will make.
Thank you.
Wait, so you're gonna die before me?
Absolutely.
Oh my
I'm older.
Look. Dunk. Tim's dead. Okay, so they're like, they don't know why that happened. Remember, they're not associating the monkey to it. So, but Hal, the nicer twin, is actually starting to put things together and is like, I wonder if this had anything to do with the monkey. And he's like, he wants to test it. He hates his brother Bill so much.
I can't blame him.
We get this one dream scene, which I think we all thought was real first.
It was a really effective scene. Like he has a bowling ball and he drops it on his face.
And his face and his brother's face just collapses and everybody in the theater was like shocked.
Ooh, this is dark.
And then he woke up, it was just a dream. It was a great like misdirect. But
what's that called in the biz? It's a dark comedy.
Oh,
black comedy.
Well, you mean like the movie in general?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That scene in particular.
Yes, definitely.
Dark comedy.
You know what? There's one scene we also have to talk about that I just thought was great for Tatiana Maslany. She's sitting with her kids after the funeral, and she's trying to relate to them and trying to explain death, but the way she explains it is so hilarious.
I agree.
She's like, guys, just so you know, everyone dies. You're going to die. Your friends are going to die.
Your pets are going to die.
Your pets are going to die. Everyone you know is going to die. And like the whole theater was laughing. We just
don't know how. We don't know when.
It just happens. And it's funny because she's right. But it's like when you think about telling
You don't tell kids and you don't tell them when they're emotional. You never really have that conversation ever.
But that's what made the scene so genius because it was, again, we're laughing we know what they're doing in that moment. She's so dark, but she's also a loving mom.
She is. She's very loving. And like afterwards they go home and she's like, oh no, I think she says it before they go home. She goes, let's go dance.
Yes, she has this thing with her kids where she says, we're going to dance, and they all dance together to music. It's sweet. So you do get a dynamic that the kids really love their mom. Well,
it bothers me that as I get older, I'm so... like at weddings and stuff, I have to have a drink before I can just go on the dance floor. And it bothers me because like in junior high school, I had no problem going on the dance floor. But as I get older, I hate going out on the dance floor.
Your confidence has gone down?
Yeah. Sorry, everybody.
I'm the exact opposite. When I was growing up, I never wanted to go out on the dance floor. I was too embarrassed. Like now, I don't give two shits.
That's great.
Well, but I mean, it's like who's a good dancer? Nobody is. So you're
MC Hammer.
You're up with a lot of dated reference. You're up there with a lot of people who can't dance. Secondly, like I'm 45 years old. Like I don't need to be thinking about who's judging my dance moves.
When I go out there, I want to do like the moonwalk. I want everyone around me clapping.
Wow.
And if I don't get it, I'm not doing it.
This sounds like these dated references. Well, Tim's young and hip. I'm going to do the moonwalk.
Yeah, that's right.
Wait, what did you just say? That I said, MC Hammer. Kids today
what is that
no
thing
idea.
like when you go like this on the ground with your whole entire body?
Fish.
The fish?
Or the worm.
Thank you. I'm going to do the fish.
Wait, can we look like...
I was like, what is that?
Tim goes on the dance floor.
But I mean, like if someone pulls me out on the dance floor, I have to be intoxicated. And I know I shouldn't say that out loud, but I'm doing it anyway.
Okay, well, here's a question. How about karaoke? Do you have to be intoxicated?
Okay, by the way, I hate that I say by the way so much. Jacob and you and Paris are excellent singers. And I'm very impressed when we all went karaoke singing. Because did you notice that I just sat back and ate chicken fingers? I was like, ooh.
I did. So, okay, I love karaoke. So does Jacob. I'm lucky that I found a partner that loves it because not a lot of people do. And I think I'm just kind of mediocre. Jacob is great. He has a great voice, great stage presence. And Paris was great too. But the thing is, I have seen Tim do karaoke and he's very entertaining. He's not giving himself enough credit.
No, I'm not looking for you to tell me that, but go on.
Tim, look.
Thank you.
I wanted Tim to sing that night, and he didn't.
I didn't. I mean, I did in Palm Springs. I sang Cool Rider.
You were drunk off your ass then.
That's right. Yeah. That's the only way it can work.
That's why I asked, because I was like, do you need to be intoxicated? Okay, me?
I do.
I don't need even one drink to go up and sing, because again, I guess, I don't know.
You're brave. You're so brave.
I don't care. I just don't care at this point. Anyway, okay. So the kids now, Hal, he's so pissed at his brother. His brother's so mean to him. Like Tim said, him and the girls are bullying him. They throw bananas on him to make fun of him for having a toy monkey.
I did not like that. I mean, middle school and junior high is hard enough, let alone getting banana peels on your face.
And by your brother. So he thinks if he twists the key on the monkey, maybe it'll kill his brother. So he does it, and the monkey does the drumming, and who gets killed?
The mom.
It's so sad because this is one thing I will give credit to the screenwriters for. Most of the deaths in this movie, or screenwriters, I think it was Osgood Perkins, most of the deaths are so over the top, but they knew since the mother was an empathetic character, they couldn't have her explode. So instead she has an aneurysm and blood just drains down her eyes and she falls over and dies.
It was graphic and it was very sad because she was one of the most likable characters. Yeah.
She was making a cake at the time.
Yes, very nice.
And Bill, the shitty kid, had to
cake.
Watch it happen. I love cake. So not only does their mom die, one of the kids has to watch it and happen, and they're at the funeral, and there's this one heartbreaking scene where Bill, the shitty kid, is like, "Mom, funny joke, get up," and I actually felt a little emotional.
I was going to, but I was like, Tim, you're not going to cry during the monkey.
Tim, you're going to cry during the monkey. No, it was sad.
Subscribe, or die.
Describe, and die. Look,
it's
Tim,
subscribe. I made an error.
Now that's the T.
That's the T.
Tim's big catchphrase.
The phrase I never say.
The phrase you never say. Okay, so they have to go and live with their aunt and uncle, and their uncle's played by Osgood Perkins, and he has one scene where he has another speech. It's ridiculous. What does he say?
He says something like, your mom sent you guys to us. We're probably not going to be great parents. Something like that. Well, at first, my first thought when he was on the screen, I thought it was Will Ferrell. Didn't he look like Cowbell, Will Ferrell?
Very much so.
Don't you love that I'm referencing Cowbell, Will Ferrell?
So what Tim means is there's a sketch on SNL when he's with Will Ferrell's part of Blue Oyster Cult, and they're doing the think, 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 and he's playing the cowbell. I knew the reference.
Thank you.
Yeah, so they go to live with them. So the uncle, but then... and
the aunt is played by, I didn't know it was she's on Schitt's Creek.
Oh, I didn't know. What's her name? Do you know?
No.
Oh, Sarah Levy.
Yeah,
okay.
Sarah Levy. So that makes sense because she's part of the Dan Levy. And what's the name of this Dan Levy son?
Eugene Levy is the dad.
Oh, that's right.
Dan Levy.
Yes.
Dan Levy's son. I don't know if he has kids. So while they're staying with the aunt and uncle, Bill, the shitty twin, decides okay, well, if we have all this power with the monkey, let's just try it and see what we can do, see if we can target people. Awful idea. Turns the key, and then we don't see the death happen, but we find out that their uncle got stampeded on a camping trip.
Oh yeah, and then they cut to a sleeping bag and they open it and it's just guts.
All guts. It looks like oatmeal with ketchup and little potatoes.
Right. Ew,
you hungry?
I don't know why you had to describe it.
Hey Tim. It's the most disgusting thing. Obviously, if you just saw it and didn't know it was guts, you'd be like, what is that? But they say he got stampeded.
Well, I think that's what Friday 13th Part 7, The New Blood wanted to do when that girl got hit against the tree. They didn't do it.
Yes, they didn't.
This movie went there.
Look, Tim.
Yeah, it was a quick little death.
And apparently he was supposed to hit her multiple times over the tree.
Well, I've seen that deleted scene.
Oh.
I've seen it. I don't want to brag.
I don't want to brag, but I will.
With Friday 13th Part 7 in 1980 film.
Yeah. MC Hammer, everyone. Okay, so, and then...
Don't hold it against me. That's Britney Spears.
No, that's...
Hold it against me is Britney Spears. I do know that.
That is it. Would you? Oh, yes. Oh my God.
The verse is,
I can't keep up. I can't keep up.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay. So the kids decide, okay, we can't use this monkey anymore, and we can't let it get in the wrong hands. So they put it in a box and they drop it down a well, and we think that's it.
For 25 years, it was.
Yeah. So now, one question for you, Tim, because it's so dumb that this even affected me, but I wanted to get
you wanted Theo James shirtless. Me too.
I got him in White Lotus. Okay.
You got everything in White Lotus.
The scenes in 1999, was it just me, or did it feel like everyone looked like they were in the 50s or the 70s?
Yeah, it was very I understand you probably maybe could have looked like that in 1999, but with the aunt's glasses and the uncle, the way they look like the 70s, the school looked like the 50s. The movie time periods did not match up to 1999.
The music they played in the 1999 scenes were not 1999 music. I mean, I was 19 in 1999. How many times can I say 1999? And that was not the music. It was boy bands in the beginning of Britney.
23.
And basically, the music they play and the look of the characters, it felt like you're saying either 50s or 70s. So if it hadn't said 1999, I would have thought we were watching like a 50s movie.
Yeah, I didn't care.
It's not, and this isn't a criticism. It's something that stood out.
No, it did. It was confusing because I mean, I think Theo James is age appropriate. I think he might be like 38 or whatever when they cut to that.
Yeah. Like so 12 or maybe I'd say the kids were 12 when they were young, right?
So I mean, all of that makes sense. But it is they spent a little. I mean, I love the movie, The Monkey, but they spent a long time on the kids that I was like, I would have been fine if the movie played out with just the kids. But then when it switched to hot Theo James, I was like, okay, this is better.
I think the reason I was surprised that they took so long with the kids is that the trailer is all Theo James. It's all.
I mean, I think he's only in it for an hour.
He's probably the second half. So again, if you think like you're coming and you're just going to be seeing all Theo James, it's about the second half of the movie. Not that he isn't very important in it, but
I guess he does play two roles.
I will say the kids though, or the actor who played the kids. I'm going to look up his name so I can give him. Oh, his name is Christian Convery, and he played both young Hal and Bill.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
And they weren't actual twins, just like Theo James is not a twin.
That is impressive.
Really great performance. Again, I know you hate kid actors, but this was a good one.
You just informed me. I thought it was two separate kids, and there was a part of me that was going to say they don't even look like each other. But guess what? They were.
It was the same person.
I'm learning a lot from our podcast.
Tim and Tim don't look like each
other.
They don't.
I can look like a completely different person.
So we go 25 years later, and we are introduced to where Hal is, and he's still kind of a timid guy. He's working. Oh God, I don't want to know that, Tim. Yikes! You look like what's his name in Blood Rage?
Todd and Terry.
You look like Todd in Blood Rage.
Todd.
Okay, so we get Hal. We find out he's still awkward. He's kind of shy, and we find out that he has an estranged son named Petey that he only gets to see once a year, and it's his week to see his son Petey. And so he goes to meet his son, and he sees his ex-wife or the mother.
And she's gorgeous, and the stepfather is
Elijah Wood.
Right, and I thought that was going to come into play because he's kind of a
dick.
Yeah. So that didn't happen.
But there is a funny scene where he's going for his 1 week with his kid, and the mother and her new husband, Elijah Wood, are explaining, hey, this is it, because Elijah Wood's going to be adopting in, and then you're going to have no custody. And they have no qualms at all to say this. And then Elijah Wood proceeds to give him a lecture on parenting because he's a parenting expert.
Right, and he's got his book everywhere, which, I mean, did you want to pick up a copy?
Not at all. Oh. But I do think it was a really funny moment for Elijah Wood. I was like, okay, Elijah Wood as a cameo, Adam Scott as a cameo. Like, Osgood Perkins must know a lot of people in this business.
I mean, he must. I mean, his dad was Anthony Psycho Perkins.
But it's like, it would be so cool to know so many stars that you're like, hey, I just need a day of filming. Will you do a cameo in my movie? And they're like, yeah, like that's just such a cool thing that he
right. Like I know a lot of stars. I don't know if they know me.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's called stalking.
Well,
yeah, but I mean, can you imagine if you're just like, hey, you're not going to be the star. We're barely even going to advertise that you're in this, but will you give me a day of your time? And they're like, yeah.
But didn't you think Elijah Wood would come back in the movie and die?
I thought he'd get killed. Yeah,
I was like, oh, that'd be a fun death. I can't believe I just said that'll be a fun death.
Everyone that was kind of a shitty character, you were okay seeing die, which is why.
But he was a shitty character.
Well, that's what I mean. That's why it would have been fun to see him die. Fun.
No, but I mean, like, I really wanted Elijah Wood to die.
That is crazy. That is psycho.
Did you see Elijah Wood's movie called Maniac?
Do you know I did? You mean the remake of the original? Yeah. I have not.
Oh, it goes from his point of view. I like the score.
It was beautifully shot.
It was beautifully shot, and I like the score.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So Hal takes his son, and his son Petey is like a teenager. So he must have had him young, and he's going to take him. He's supposed to take him to an amusement park, but instead they go to a hotel.
Do you remember the title of
it was like
Horror Haven?
Horror Haven. Yeah. I was like, that sounds like a fun amusement park.
I know. It's like everyone should go there.
By the way, how cool would it be? And I guess they do. This is like not Scary Farm or Six Flags or Universal Horror Nights, but an all-year-round horror-themed amusement park.
I think that's opening in Vegas. Actually, Universal's opening it in Vegas.
That's what I want. We're gonna go. We'll do a live from episode. Can you imagine? We're like, hey, Matt and Tim, we're going on the Scream coaster. Oh, you're busy.
I'm busy all year.
Every time you want to go, Matt.
Like, call me right now. Call
me. Boop, 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 boop. Hey, Tim. Horror Haven just opened up in Vegas. Do you want to go, Tim?
I hung up.
Hi,
I hung up on you. Yeah.
I didn't understand.
I was watching The Bold and Beautiful.
When you did this.
Yeah. That means phone. This means cellular. I'm hanging up my cellular.
Rude. Okay. So they go to this hotel, and then Hal gets a call from his brother. And what happens is we find out that the monkey has reappeared, and we get a death scene of the ant who had taken them in.
Oh,
and
it was a good scene.
A great scene, because she doesn't quite die right up front.
Right.
You want to take us through?
Yeah, I'll take you through. So she goes downstairs to the basement. As she's walking back upstairs, she falls through the staircase, and then she falls on fish hooks. She goes back upstairs.
They're all stuck in her face.
So she pulls them out, and then she's like, I think I smell gas. So she literally puts her head right up to the gas thing. It blows up in her face, and I mean, obviously it's CGI fire, which I'm okay with CGI in this.
Well,
instance.
we don't want to really light someone's
right.
head on
I was like, okay, you guys
want realism.
Yeah, I was like, if someone's face isn't on fire, I'm walking out of this theater.
And Tim almost walked out.
I was like, okay, I'll stay.
No. Okay, yeah.
And Matt pulled me down. I
said, Tim, hold him back.
Yeah, I was like, I really need someone's face on fire for realism for the monkey.
Go on.
And so then she runs outside, and there's a for sale sign, and there's a pointy thing where the sign is, and she runs right into it, and her face explodes. Oh, in addition, her foot goes into a flower pot.
Everything awful happens.
Anyway.
Fish hooks at her face. And also, by the way, anytime someone puts their face near a burner, you know it's going to explode.
Yeah, I didn't mind that. That's very Final Destination.
It was but the idea that then as her face is on fire, she goes headfirst into a sign, it goes through her head. It's the worst
The guts
death.
go everywhere.
But again, everyone in the theater was laughing because the filmmakers wanted us to laugh at that. That wasn't supposed to be taken seriously. No one would have all that happen to them.
Well, freak accidents happen.
I mean, but one of those four things, not all four.
Well,
anyway,
we'll never know.
The ant died, and apparently this triggers Bill to call up Hal. They have not talked to each other in 10 years. He's like, the monkey's back. You got to get over your Aunt Ida's dead. You got to get it. I think it's there, whatever. And he's like, how are you sure? And then we get a scene. We see someone walking over to the pool in the background of this motel.
Oh, yeah. And she's a gorgeous girl.
Gorgeous.
And I was like, this isn't going to end well.
First, I was like, is this going to be a sex scene? Is this nudity? No. Final Destination-y stuff happens, and I think it's something electrical. Is it a heater or something?
Yeah, falls in, and she just it falls into the pool. And does it fall into the pool?
Something where
it's electrocuted, and it's attached to the pool drain, or so it's
and it touches water, which electrifies the entire pool. And Theo James sees her about to dive in. He's like, wait! She goes to dive in.
And she explodes. Her body parts go everywhere. So this reminded me of two films from the past. First off, Chevy Chase and Vegas Vacation. Not regular Vacation when Christy Brinkley's in the pool and he's like, yeah.
And she explodes. Yeah,
she explodes. And then also, did you see Lethal Weapon? I can't remember if it's one or two, where this girl's on a diving board and she's going, and then the pool explodes as she's jumping off the diving board. Did you see those two films?
So I've 100% seen Vacation, and I've definitely seen the original Lethal Weapon, and that
Lethal Weapon 2 is when Mel Gibson shows his butt.
He doesn't in the first one?
He might.
Sure?
I just don't remember.
There's a lot of Mel Gibson butt in Lethal Weapon.
I know. Remember it was him with his Aunt Jackie hair? I was like, we're supposed to swoon for Mel Gibson Jackie hair?
Aunt Jackie hair. Wow.
Oh.
Roseanne reference. Wait. Who? Which Lethal Weapon was Joe Pesci in?
I think he's in all four of them.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I take that back. He might be in just 3 and 4. I don't know about Joe Pesci's Lethal Weapon history.
Well, either way, this scene was hilarious because I was expecting her to jump in the pool and go like in Denise Richards and Valentine,
remember Denise Richards just in regular Wild Things when she makes out with Sidney Prescott?
Yes, but she doesn't explode. All these references are lacking one important part.
I just want people in pools.
You're literally coming up with anyone at a hotel pool. I love that, Tim. You know what this reminds me of? Vacation with my family in Ohio.
You know what?
Did you explode?
No, we went to Florida.
Oh, see, that would have been good. That would have been good pools.
We don't go to Ohio pools.
You're like, hey guys, we're going on vacation to the same state we live in.
We're in Ohio.
You know what? I don't get every vacation right.
Wait, does this movie take place in Maine?
I know they
Stephen
go
King,
up
right?
to Maine. I think they go up to Maine.
That's cool.
So he's like, oh my God, I got to get there. I got to bring Petey with me. But he's not telling his son, estranged son Petey, anything. In fact, he lies to his son and says he was an only child. He won't tell him anything. And the son is kind of like, what the fuck? Why aren't you telling me anything?
So when they arrive there, this realtor tries to give the teenage boy a card. Oh. And whoever this actress is, really, I loved her. I wanted more of her.
So the realtor, you'll see her in the trailer. She's very over the top. stop. And she was such the character. Right when she came on screen, I was sitting next to Tim. I'm like, Tim is going to love this character.
1, 2, 3.
I looked over.
Dead.
We
both said she's gonna die.
Yeah, we first immediately said she's gonna die. I looked over and we were like, dead.
She's dead.
And secondly, Tim was laughing at every line she said. She could have said like blueberry shakes, and Tim would have been like,
she is killing it.
But she was really funny. And she is, trying to sell their Aunt Ida's place, and she's taking them around. And he's like, have you seen a toy monkey? And she's like, I don't know. There was an estate sale the day before. Let me look. She opens this closet, and what happens?
A shotgun falls down, and it blows her away, and all of her guts go onto Theo James. And he's wearing glasses, and he takes off his glasses, and it looks like The Ring, as like when you're done tanning, but it's blood.
Yes. And what's funny is that this part was in the trailer, so we knew someone was going to explode onto his face. I just said that to him.
Yeah, I heard you.
Yeah, I said explode on their face. Anyway, but
Saki.
We didn't know. It was just so well done because she's just so cheery, and it's just the opposite. And then she's like, "Oh, what's here?" And a shotgun just boom.
It was such a bummer, but I get it. People have to die.
Yeah. Now, one quick thing, and I don't even want to spend a lot of time on this because this was such a weird subplot. We were introduced to a character played by Rowan Campbell, as in Corey Cunningham from Halloween Ends.
I thought it was Kit Hoover from, what's that show we watch with the British kids and they're like in love?
Heartstopper.
I thought it was the kid from Heartstopper wearing a wig.
You thought it was Kit O'Connor? Connor?
Yeah,
Kit Connor.
I called him Kit Hoover. I don't know who Kit Hoover is.
Kit Hoover?
But yeah, I thought it was the British kid.
No, it was Rowan Campbell, as in Corey Cunningham, the unforgettable, the one and only from Halloween Ends. He's like wearing this, all I can say is like Wayne from Wayne's World wig.
Yeah, it's a wig that I feel kind of bummed for him because like.
You didn't even see his face.
You couldn't see his face because the wig, he had bangs.
But I recognize that mouth, and I don't mean it dirty. But
no, he's a very good looking man.
He had bought the monkey at the estate sale.
So the Theo James' twin brother, also Bill, Theo James,
the mean one, yeah.
He asked him to like find it, and apparently he bought it for $15 at a yard sale.
Yeah, so we basically find out, fast forwarding, that Bill, the mean twin, had hired Rowan Campbell to find the monkey for him, finally found him, and then Bill has been turning the key and setting off all these random deaths in town because he wants to get his brother killed, and he thinks at some point it'll kill his brother. And all I was thinking was, to go to that expense to kill your brother, those innocent people that are dying.
To hold on to that much animosity for 25 years against your brother. Well, there's one part that I want to go back to when they're wheeling out the aunt in a gurney and like there's cheerleading and like the whole town's like, bring out the body. And they're like, yay. So I was like, that was the one part of the movie that I was like, I don't know what this is about.
See, I loved it because this is what I mean about that wackadoodle absurdist type of comedy where we're watching a movie, we've seen someone die in this horrific, ridiculous way, and then as they're bringing out her body, cheerleaders are saying, bring out the body. Like, it made no sense in the best way possible.
Right. So I was monkeys and everything killing people. I was like, I understand all this, but cheerleaders cheering when a body comes out. I was like, I need to know.
But like, we're supposed to, like, again, I don't know why maybe because
you just accepted it.
No, because my humor is so ridiculous, and sometimes it's really dumb. Sometimes it's dirty. Sometimes it's corny.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Did you like the 1981 film Student Bodies? Did you remember that movie?
Oh, yes, of course. Oh, the horror parody.
Yeah.
Before Scary Movie. I did, yeah.
Oh, okay. I was just curious.
Did you like Airplane?
I loved Airplane Airplane 2, the sequel.
Yeah. I mean, I think that absurd comedy, I don't know. I love it. I think that the cheerleader moment, it was so ridiculous that we were all like, what's going on right now?
It just, for some reason, it took me out of the movie. It threw me across Burbank.
And it made you want to be a cheerleader.
Yeah, I was like, God, when can I be a cheerleader?
You're like, you know what? They need more 47-year-old cheerleaders.
Yeah, men who are not nearly close to college or high school.
Yikes, you would be called, the authorities would be called. Okay, so we find out that Bill has always blamed Hal for the death of their mother because Hal was the one who turned the key. Now, of course, Hal never meant to kill his own mother, but Bill's blamed him. And because of this, he's been searching for the monkey for 25 years, finally got it back and keeps turning it. And we find out that people in town have been dying every day, and we get little glimpses of it, and it's hilarious. Like, doesn't someone have a stroller that's on fire?
Yes, and someone's like golfing, and like a huge boa constrictor comes out and bites their neck. And they actually discuss it. They're like, are boa constrictors in this town?
And they're like, that one was.
Yeah.
Like, it's just funny because it's almost like it's a wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Like, I think Osgood Perkins knows writing this. It's absurd, but it's like, I accepted it because, again, you're watching a movie about a toy monkey that causes death. So already you got to throw logic out the window. You do.
As I always say, leave your brain at the door. And sometimes I accidentally leave my brain at the door when I'm not seeing the monkey.
When you're seeing, what's a movie you really have to think about? Inception or something like that.
Heretic.
Oh, yes. Those monologues. Woo. So anyway, we get to the point where basically Bill finally tells Hal, like, he was like, I want you to come wait. He said, I want you to get the monkey and bring it back. But what happens is that the Rowan Campbell character, he takes them hostage and forces Hal and Petey to come to where Bill is.
So he says, Petey, go in through the doggy door and get the monkey and bring it back.
Yes. and the thing is though, well, first Bill says, I've been trying to turn this key on this monkey so many times it's not working, aka to kill his brother. He wants Petey to turn the key because he thinks if the son turns it, his dad will get killed.
Yeah, apparently.
But here's the funniest part. I have to tell the story because something happened in the theater that was hilarious. So as Petey's going through where Bill lives, Bill has his place booby-trapped because he wants to make sure he protects this monkey. So there's one thing where Petey walks through a hall and this huge axe falls and hits like really close to him.
Oh, I remember.
And some girl in the theater we were in goes, woo! Like, and everyone laughed.
Everyone laughed. Because I feel like that particular woman hasn't seen a movie in like 50 years.
It was her first night out in 50 years.
Yeah, she's like, oh, they just let me out of the hospital. She's like, I gotta go see the monkey.
You know what? Hey guys, what's on the agenda for tonight? She's like, Benihana and the monkey.
Right. So she was having a moment, and the whole theater felt it.
Look, anyone who's seen a movie, I would assume it's everyone watching or listening to this. When you're in a theater and one person has this huge reaction, the whole theater like loves it. And it was so like Jacob was laughing. He couldn't stop laughing at her reaction. It was just really funny. Anyway, we get up there.
I didn't laugh at all.
Yeah, Tim has no sense of humor. No.
I was like, quiet lady, you're ruining my movie experience.
So Petey gets up here. And by the way, we finally see what Bill looks like. It's Theo James again, but he has a mullet.
Yeah, and he takes an outfit that he wears back in 1999 and it's like a cummerbund.
It's like the same suit he wore to the funerals.
Right. And I was like, and his hair looks atrocious.
And I think that was a callback to him as a kid. He said, if I don't get out of this suit, hopefully no one else will die because like, it's almost like we'll freeze time. He's like, every time I get out of the suit, I have to put it back on for another funeral, which is a really dark thought.
Very dark.
So Bill is up there and he's trying to force Petey to turn the key. And finally, Petey does turn the key. And guess who gets killed? Rowan Campbell.
Right. And it's actually really clever because prior to when they were sitting in the car, they're looking at this huge bee's nest and there's like a gunshot through the
windshield. There's a bee-size hole.
So the bees come flying through into his mouth and then they all just like camp out in his body.
They just rip apart his body and his whole jaw falls out. And I was like,
gross.
The effects. And now some of it was CGI, but
I didn't mind in this.
Yeah, I didn't mind it either. It wasn't so CGI that it was like, I'm not even believing this. It was.
I believed it.
And it was, again, these deaths were over the top, but they weren't too CGI. And that was a really funny death. So, of course, Hal is really freaked out. He runs in. He wants to protect his son. And he finally is face to face with Bill. And Bill is like, admits that he's been wanting to kill him for this long. But they have the key. Petey and Hal have the key. And he's like, well, fuck it. I'm going to make the monkey do the drumming without the key. And he tries to force it to drum. The monkey's not happy about this because he starts then drumming a bunch and like apparently setting off millions of deaths.
So they look out like a small window and like there's like plane crashes and like just a lot of dark stuff exploding. Yeah. It's bad.
And finally, Hal talks to his brother and is like, what is your problem with me? And Bill says, you killed my mother. And Hal says, she was my mother too. And he says, I've never thought of it like that.
Yeah, and then a callback to the very beginning of the film where there is a bowling ball.
Yes. Oh, before you say that, just one quick thing. What was so funny about that is I love the realization that it took him 25 years to realize, oh, wait, it was my twin's mom too.
Yeah.
Maybe
both
I should have.
Well, he's such a Hal. By the way, how many Hals do you know?
My mom's best friend's husband's named Hal.
Okay, so these are the Hals I know.
Okay.
And isn't there a Hal in April Fool's Day in 1986? April Fool's Day, she's like Hal.
I think so, yes.
And then there's also a movie called Shallow Hal with Gwyneth Paltrow.
And Jack Black.
I don't.
I don't know that.
Care about him.
Jack Black, who was
I'm
also
kidding.
in I Still Know What You Did Last Summer.
And Susan Ward from the In Crowd 2000. That's right. That's very obscure reference.
Wow. So after that funny scene, they finally are going to shake hands. And first Bill is such an asshole and keeps doing the here, come to shake my hand.
Okay.
Yeah, go to shake my hand. And he goes,
Oh, I do that.
Wait, do it again.
Yeah. I love doing that.
He's like an adult still doing this as his brother, but they finally shake hands and you're like, oh, they're going to make it. Well, the monkey has one more drum in him, and what happens to him now?
The big bowling ball goes right towards the other Theo James, the twin Howell. Oh, Bill? I don't know which one.
Bill.
Okay, so Bill's face, and it smashes it, and it smashes it so much that onto the side of the wall, there's an eyeball, and the tendon goes bloop.
What's funny is that total callback to that dream sequence when he drops the bowling ball on his head. And it's oh, maybe it was all meant to be, because remember, Hal had always wanted to kill his brother, but it had never happened. And it just sucks that right after they make up, he finally gets killed. Question for you.
Sad.
Did you think the brother was going to get killed? Did you think they both were going to make it?
No. The one thing about horror films, evil always dies. Except unless evil dies tonight.
Of course.
Thank you I love that. But no, I was this guy can't live. He's garbage.
I thought, part of me was okay, I thought that bad brother would die at some point, but when they got to the point where they shook hands and they made up, I was oh, maybe this is going to be a happy ending. Of course it wasn't. No. But we do have one final scene, which is sort of funny and weird. Hal is taking Petey and he's driving him home, and they agree. They're we can't let the monkey get in anyone's hands. We can't get rid of it because it'll come back. So we'll keep it and just keep people from using it. And as they're driving through the town, it's mass destruction.
Right. It's the end of the world.
Mass destruction. Everyone, because the monkey has hit the drum so many times, so many people died.
And then it was kind of like a Halloween 2 Rob Zombie, which I don't like to reference. But there is a horse going through with an old man, and they're all in white.
So I looked this up because after the movie, we were what is this? It looked very ghostly. It looked like a spirit. And I was is this the spirit of the monkey? It looks at them. It looks very evil. And then it walks away. And apparently it's meant to be an apparition, one of the four horsemen, basically death, almost like a Grim Reaper type. And it's almost and this is just what I read, that they've unleashed death on the world, or that the monkey represents that. I know. But it was in a weird, did it not look like something from the Haunted Mansion?
Yeah, it was very Disney-like.
It did look, and I agree with you that I don't know if I needed that.
I kind of just not knowing anything.
Yeah, because I didn't need a ghostly specter going through the street. It just took me out of it. But there is one tiny positive ending. He looks at Petey and he says, hey, you want to go dancing? And he's dancing? He's yeah, my mom and I used to do that. And he's okay.
And then they went to the Abbey.
And then they went to West Hollywood, and they're
Pink Pony Club.
And then they're at a gay club shirtless and
then Petey's Dad, there's something I have to tell you. And he's what, son? And he goes, I'm gay.
And he's woo, gay pride. And that's how it ended.
And then Theo James was
shirtless.
Right. And
showering.
What is it called at the end of the parade? You're the what?
The Grand Master of the parade. I feel I'm on a game show.
Yes.
Okay, so it's the
Grand
Master. Yeah. Yes.
No, but then a callback to that scene that I was so what's going on? Those cheerleaders are all in a bus and they're sticking their heads outside of the just cheering, yay, yay, yay. And then what drives by them in all their head? They all get decapitated.
It's a huge truck drives really close by them and all of them are decapitated. And the funny thing is that we love that because they were annoying cheerleaders. They were cheering for a body to be brought out. So it's almost he wanted to return to get rid of all of them, but they all die at the very end, and then it goes into credits.
And then it's the end, and then the credits ended, and then we waited for the end thinking there'd be another little monkey kill or something.
A post-credit scene.
There was no monkey. There was a preview for his next film.
Yeah, if you stay for the post-credit scene, it's almost remember after X when we saw the trailer for Pearl and the post-credits, it's a trailer for his next movie. Now, this doesn't look anything like the monkey. This looks more like Longlegs.
I saw no monkeys.
It looks very serious and scary, and apparently he's going to be a horror director and keep it going. So
who's was the guy that directed Us and Nope and Get
Jordan
Out?
Peele.
He kind of has that like modern day thing going on.
He does. I think Jordan Peele, like, there's usually like a message to his movies or something political.
I got a message from the monkey.
He has a point of view. Osgood Perkins, I think, is just like crazy shit all the time.
But I mean, Longlegs, if you're going thinking you're going to get long legs, you're going to get a monkey.
Oh, so I wanted to ask you, so what are your final thoughts on this movie? What you liked, what you didn't like, yeah, all that.
Well, I love Stephen King, and I was going into with my mindset with another Stephen King movie with Timothy Hutton, Oscar winner Timothy Hutton from Ordinary People. I thought it was going to be like The Dark Half from 1993, but that movie actually was really dark. This movie was very, very light. Comedy. So I think I just had to just rearrange my brain to know that like, oh, this movie is a full-blown comedy with some dark elements.
Yeah.
Very dark elements, like death. But once I got past that hurdle, I could sit back and enjoy the movie.
Okay, no, that's a great assessment. I loved this movie. I just think I think unlike you, I was going in knowing it was going to be crazy comedy. So it was everything I wanted. I actually think as much as I enjoyed Heart Eyes, I think I enjoyed this more because it was more absurd, less like rom-com comedy and more absurd, over-the-top, deranged comedy.
He didn't have a love interest in this movie.
Yeah, there was definitely no romance in this. I just think it has everything you want of horror, but also it has just that batshit craziness that you can enjoy a movie with. Now, in terms of like suspense and scares, not really. There was like one scene where the kid's looking outside a window and he sees the monkey like looking at him. And that was a little suspenseful, but it's not a scary movie. It's just a crazy movie. But to me, I know this is going to sound weird. It's almost like the type of horror that I got from The Substance.
You are so weird.
No, I just mean that, like The Substance, it's not like it was scary. It was just so insane.
It was entertaining.
And entertaining, though. And so I think if you like The Substance and the gore and the craziness, now, of course, The Substance also had a message to it. This is just pure insanity.
This movie had a message. It said, be nice to your sibling.
Well, it also did. I will say, if there's one message I got from this movie, it's that, and I know this is getting deep, but that death is just completely random. And as scary as that is, if you can't control who's going to die, who's going to live, when it's going to happen, what's going to happen. And the monkey kind of like
reinforces that fact.
Yeah, and almost personifies that. It's like they think the people who are, activating the monkey think they have the power, but really they don't. The monkey is death, and it's just going to kill whoever, whenever it wants. With that said, there were also some nice themes of like estranged parents with their kids,
right?
Bonds
aunts,
like
uncles.
that. Aunts, uncles getting trampled, But I don't know why. I think I just wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did.
Wow.
I know.
Are you going to see it again?
I would see it again. I'm not saying it's going to be like one of the greatest movies of the year, but at the same time, for me so far this year, I've enjoyed it, I think, more than...
Is it your number one film of 2025 so far?
For 2 months worth? Probably, yes. 2 months. Well, what would be your number one movie in the first 2 months of
Friday the 13th Part 4, the final chapter?
The first 2 months of 2025.
Right now, Heart Eyes is in the running.
Yeah. Okay. But Heart Eyes would be like a close second after that,
You know what? You can't have it two ways.
Look, there's a ton of great horror movies coming out this year. I'm not saying The Monkey is going to be my number one movie of 2025.
I think
it is. Look, what if I was suddenly said The Monkey, then Halloween?
Wow.
No, of course not.
I think that's what you're telling me.
Something really appealed to me about that absurd comedy. I don't know why.
I'm gaslighting you. That's a buzzword.
Wait, use another one. What's another one people say? Narcissistic personality. That's a good one.
Triggering. You're triggering me.
Yeah. I'm thinking of business words like we're going to be leveraging this.
Or like, do you like when people say like, she's iconic? He's a genius.
You know what else?
Stop it.
Like when someone says, we used to say, oh, that's hot or something like that. And
I still say that.
Now we say, oh, that's fire.
I've never said that.
Tim, is that fire?
I mean, if you're describing me, yes.
Okay. Well, anyway, thank you everyone for either listening or watching. Again, I'm going to do the last plug. If you aren't watching and want to watch our videos, youtube.com/happyhorrortime. Like.
You can see me do this.
Oh, God. Wait. Say it. Like, describe,
and die.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Happy Horror Time.
If you'd like to support the podcast, please sign up to be a patron at www.patreon.com/happyhorrortime. As a patron, you get access to all our bonus content, which now includes 2 new bonus episodes every month, a monthly after-show mini episode, access to our Discord community so you can chat with us directly, and the chance to review a film with us in one of our bonus episodes.
Patrons also get all our regular episodes ad-free and a day early, our monthly newsletter, the chance to vote in polls, and autographed Happy Horror Time stickers.
I'm Matt Emmert.
And I'm Tim Murdoch.
And we hope you have a happy horror time.